So my friends, about a little over a year ago, my middle son, Micah Bernhard, ran for an elected office, ran to be president of USY, and he lost. Thank God. Really, he was busy enough. And he lost, and he even would say, and I believe has said, that he lost to the better person. Because Eytan Wallace, who has served as a president for our chapter of USY, has been a brilliant president. He's been brilliant in terms of just the enthusiasm that he brings to USY. He's been brilliant in reaching out to the USYers and bringing them into USY and into positions of leadership. He's been brilliant in terms of coming to our board meetings and being a presence and a voice for USY. And while I believe that Julie Snitzer-Levine, our director, Julie, what's your title? As of July 1st. There we go. Our Director of Youth and Teen Engagement, under her leadership, our chapter has done brilliantly. But it has been done in partnership with Eytan Wallace, and it is not an accident. I think that this particular year we were fortunate enough, through hard work and dedication and a tremendous amount of effort, that under his leadership that we won a Chapter of Excellence Award this year. It is a pleasure to be able to share a few moments of the Bima with Eytan Wallace.
Perfect. Thank you, Rabbi, for those very kind words. Good morning and Shabbat Shalom, and congratulations to all of those celebrating Simchas today. A husband and wife decided to go on a sailing adventure. They leased a beautiful yacht, but a couple of days after they set sail, they hit a storm and soon became stranded on a deserted island. The husband became very worried that they would be forever stranded and would die alone in this faraway place. When he expressed his deep concerns about whether they would ever be found, his wife turned to him and asked, "Just wondering, did you make a pledge this year to the Jewish Federation?" The husband responded, "No, dear. Why do you ask?" The wife then inquired, "Well, honey, did you pay your pledge this year to the Adat Ariel USY stock sale?" "No, dear," he responded. "I didn't do that either." "Well then," the wife said, "we have nothing to worry about. They are sure to be looking for us now." Finding humor in ourselves and in our culture is a lesson that I gleaned from our beloved Rabbi Emeritus, Rabbi Moshe Rothblum. Anyone who has had the privilege of listening to Rabbi Rothblum speak from the pulpit and of getting to know him personally as I have knows that few can match his wit and wisdom, but all can learn the importance of laughter. As teenagers, sometimes we too can feel as if we have been stranded on a desert island and that no one is looking to find us. Luckily, USY found me. My USY experiences span back more than a decade, but my USY story actually dates back more than 60 years. You may see me here today and realize that I wasn't even alive 60 years ago, although some of my friends here today were. Herb, Jack, you know who you are. And you may ask, what do you mean when you say that your USY story begins 60 years ago? This is what I mean. My grandfather helped to start 2 USY chapters in the 1950s, one at Temple Beth Shalom in Kansas City, Missouri, and one at the Temple of Aaron in St. Paul, Minnesota. Nearly 60 years later, these synagogues still have active USY chapters. My grandfather's dedication to the future of the Jewish people and support for Jewish youth inspired me to also become involved in the conservative Jewish youth movement, USY. This is quite a legacy, one which I emulate. It was former USYers who graduated 3 and 4 years ago who really showed me the path to USY. And that is why I so enjoy welcoming to USY our Adat Ariel B'nai Mitzvah as I present to them our USY songbook at Friday night services. I love the idea that as they celebrate their special bar or bat mitzvah weekend, they know that when all the speeches have been spoken, the Torah portions chanted, the festivities have ended, and the cousins have returned home, when all is back to the usual routine, our kids still have fun things to do and still have a place with their peers here at Adat Ariel. I remember my first ever USY Shabbat dinner like it was yesterday. And yes, it does feel like yesterday when the 8th grade me enjoyed a small yet beautiful, peaceful evening at Gabe Kachuk's house. The evening included Kabbalat Shabbat and Mariv services, a potluck dinner, and finally, Ruach. Ruach, the spirited and joyful, top-of-your-lungs singing that sets the tone at every USY Shabbat. This Shabbat dinner was the event that set off my passion for USY. I was so inspired by this Shabbat dinner that I vowed to attend every USY Shabbat dinner that I could. I can say with enthusiasm that Shabbat dinners were an integral part of my USY experience. Shabbat dinners, however, were not only meaningful, they opened my mind to the idea that there are other Jewish teens out there who love their religion, their culture, and their people. From chanting enthusiastically during the prayer, Shiru Ladonai, sing unto the Lord, to stomping the ground and happily shouting the words, Am Yisrael Chai, long live the nation of Israel, Shabbat dinners have truly been joyful and fun. Monthly Shabbat dinners with 20 or 25 or so of my spirited peers was only the beginning of my attachment to USY. Like these gatherings, I entered reluctantly into other parts of USY. In my 7th and 8th grade years, Rabbi Rothboom invited me to participate in his annual Rabbi's Play. Despite his many pleas to be in the play, I turned him down year after year, a decision I later regretted. My friends Chava Friedman and Gabe Kachuk shared with me year after year how much they enjoyed the play experience, and they highly encouraged me to participate. I eventually matured enough to realize that the play had the potential to be an amazing and enlightening experience for me. I started with a small part in Hello, Dolly. Okay, I know, there are no small parts, only small actors. I started as a shy and inexperienced player. Although I did not have the most prominent role in the play, the role that the play itself played in my life was prominent and important. It gave me a sense of shared purpose, of community, of bonding with peers, of appreciation of all that goes into coming together to build something from nothing. What could be a more important life lesson than that? Thank you, Rabbi Rothblum, for the incredible years together and for all the life lessons you have taught us all. And by the way, I see that Joe Carroll Oberstein is here also, and I just want to give a shout out to you. The play would not be as special as it was without you as well, and your baked cookies. So, thank you. As I grew older, my USY regional involvement grew larger. I participated in many regional weekends and in USY conventions and was lucky enough to be accepted onto the Regional General Board as one of the region's news anchors. This job entailed writing, editing, producing, and anchoring monthly video newscasts for the entire 5-state region. I began working on this regional newscast in its pioneer year, helping to create and to create its format and setting the tone for future news programming. As much as I love the region, my love for USY took place right here at my home at Adat Ariel. When I first joined the chapter, I don't remember there being many guys who participated in Adat Ariel USY. That's right, the chapter was dominated by girls. Now, I would consider this an asset, but at the time, I wished more guys had been involved. This group of girls taught me that passion can lead to success. Later that year, I ran for communications vice president and won. Well, I was kind of unopposed, but I still won. I served in this position for 2 consecutive years and helped to build our chapter's own website. This position taught me true communication skills, and I realized just how important it is to reach out to people and have one-on-one conversations in order to make members feel welcome and feel at home. This past year has been by far the highlight of my USY career. I was elected president of Adat Ariel USY, and at first, I'm not going to lie, that was a lot of pressure. We had just finished a year in which we were the most improved chapter of the year, and now we were starting the new year with similar expectations. But luckily, we were able to live up to even surpass previous successes in our chapter, and the year turned out very well. This year, our membership increased to levels we never would have expected, and with all of the wonderful girls in our chapter, the boys came running after. swelling our ranks. Word got out, and our events soon attracted teenagers from other chapters as well, because people love us that much. Our synagogue was the host of our 12th grade kinus, which attracted graduating high school seniors from around the region. Towards the end of the year, we raised the most we have ever raised before in our annual stock sale, and we tied with another chapter for the most regional convention participants. And as icing on the cake, our very own U.S. Wire, Matthew Arnetsky, was honored with the Regional U.S. Wire of the Year Award, and our chapter won the Regional Chapter of Excellence Award. Quite an accomplishment, wouldn't you say? But let me tell you, none of these accomplishments would have been possible without our very dedicated youth director, Julie Levine.
Hey, Julie.
She deserves applause. Her title, director of a bunch of stuff, really says it all. Julie, you have always believed in me. You always pushed me to challenge myself to do better and to lead by example. Over the course of my years in USY, you changed my boring self to think more creatively. You have not only been a role model, mentor, and educator, but also a friend. And P.S., I am looking forward to the day when I can friend you on Facebook. My experiences in USY will stay with me throughout my life. The friendships I have made through USY will be lifelong friendships, and the lessons I learned will be lessons for life. I'm grateful to my friends here at Adat Ariel, both those who are in USY and those who may have been at one time but are no longer eligible for USY membership. It has been a privilege and an honor to serve as the 2013-2014 Adat Ariel USY president and to serve on the synagogue board of directors as well. Thank you for having confidence in me, and thank you, Adat Ariel, for being my wonderful community in my home away from home. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, Yeshakah.